that Yah has for his people is that we unite. A mission of reconciliation, restoring us back to our original relationship with him, and probably even beyond that. Because that mission, it should be taken light, especially when you become an Israelite. Because his goal is to take you and to mold you and to shape you. But we all mess up. We all fall short. All have fallen short of the glory of Yah. So what we've been looking at is a family that's just what do you call it? A dysfunctional family. They dysfunctional to the core. They so dysfunctional that like two of them got mad because something happened to their sister, so they went out and killed the whole town. They're really dysfunctional. And they made it out like it was a righteous act. Like, maybe you guys should go get circumcised and then you can be a part of us. While they still healing, they went in there. Out of all the brothers, only two of them said, we got this. Right? They just dysfunctional. They're so dysfunctional, they take their little brother and it's like, you know what, you're a pain in the butt. Let's sell his butt. Right? Drop him in the pit. That's pretty dysfunctional. Like, I came from a dysfunctional family, so I know what it feels like to be dysfunctional, because my mom threw me in the pit. For the most part, that's why I grew up as a ward of the state, right? She sold me to the state, right? So, if I was to take a interview, a poll, I bet you everybody here got dysfunctional written all over their family. You probably, and if you stopped and think, you probably think, okay, I'm more dysfunctional than you are, because I started looking at I know my dysfunction. Look, some of the dysfunction I may not admit to out in public, but I'm really dysfunctional. And all of us have the same thing. We all dysfunctional.
No, I don't.
Oh, no, that's right. I knew it. Stone hard. Stone. Where's my stone? So, what captured the heart of Joseph and caused him to strive to walk right? What was that one thing that happened to him? We talked about it 2 weeks ago. His dream.
Right? He had visions.
He had the dream and vision, and he realized that Yah had spoke to him and had started giving him instructions, guidance on, you're going to be up here and everybody else going to be down here, right? And he was, Joseph was so naive in his thought, like he was figured, let me share this with my brothers. That wasn't good, because the more he talked, the bigger the hole he dug. And then like, you want to dig a hole? We got a hole for you. Literally. And they said, since you want to dig a hole, let's put him in a hole, right? The more he talked, and it's like, but his father pondered. He kind of came back at him a little bit, but he pondered it in his heart, like, wow, that's kind of deep. So, why did the father even have that mindset? Why did he even think that way?
Think what? I'm sorry.
Like, why did he think that Joseph, you had this dream? Why did I even have to concentrate or think? Like, if I tell you about a dream, you probably don't think about that dream tomorrow. You're like, Elder Yechezk'el probably drank too much the night before or something, right? So he had this crazy dream. Well, you probably wouldn't take notes of it and say, wow, I need to write that down. I really hide it in your spirit. But his dad did. So why does dad do that? if you had,
But he also knew the promises that had been given before.
thank you, he'd already seen promises. He's seen them manifest before, so he knows what it's like to hear a vision from Yah and to walk it out. Christina?
I was thinking he knows that God speaks through dreams.
How does he know that?
He experienced dreams.
Okay.
Abraham did so.
So we're going to look at the Father because it's all about reconciliation. 2 Corinthians 5, I think it is. That we have, and maybe we'll get there. We have a ministry of what? Reconciliation. Right? So if your family is all jacked up and they keeping Christmas, if your family is like don't want to hear anything about Yah, it's your purpose, your goal is to continuously try to reconcile them. And it may be the point that you like want to give up on them because I've been telling them about Yah and Yahushua and they still call on Jesus, still worshiping on Sunday, right? But how many times has people, like that English, how many times have people come to you and tried to set you straight,
Right.
and you wouldn't hear it? So Paul says one man plants, another man waters, but Yah is the one that wakes you up. Yah's the one that causes the increase. Yah's the one that gives you that breath. Yah's the one that converts the soul. You can only voice it. Now I know that when you're out in the world, the book actually tells you. You go out and you share the good news. If they don't hear it, dust their feet off and keep getting up. But your family, you keep seeing all the time. They're not strangers, right? And so this is a moment of just trying to encourage you because Joseph would have to reconcile the relationship with his brothers. The brothers sold him, right? They just got rid of his butt. And he's the one that was the heart of Joseph was, I gotta win these guys back. My heart's hurting because of their foolishness. Right? Now, when we look through the text, you're gonna see the Father and the Son are almost on one accord because they both have dreams. They both have these visions, night visions, right? And so their perspective's a little bit different. Now, not to say the other ones don't have relationships with Yah, right? But Joseph had a special dream, and so did the father. So let's go to Bereshit, chapter 45, and start at
Chapter 45.
45.
What?
24. Let's go back 23. 23. 22. All right, 45, 22. And let's read.
To all of them he gave each man changes of raiment, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment. And to his father he sent after this manner 10 asses laden with good things of Egypt, and 10 she-asses laden with corn and bread and meat for his father by the way. So he sent his brethren away, and they departed. And he said unto them, See that ye fall not out by the way. And they went up out of Egypt, and came into the land of Canaan, unto Jacob their father.
Okay, hold on a minute. So let's paint the picture. This comes right on the tail of him crying and letting them know who he is, because we talked about this. They didn't recognize Joseph. They walk into the room and they're seeing the governor and they are scared to death because he called them into his home, and they're scared to death. And finally, he breaks down and he tells them who he is. In his heart, he wants to see Dad. His dad's still alive. This is Father's Day message. I'm so glad that he called on his dad. He's like, where's Dad? Is Dad still living? Right? So he sends them away. Now, if you know the history of the brothers, the last two brothers have the same mother. So they're like full brothers, and they got a little bit closer relationship with each other. So he gives him a whole bunch more than he gives the rest, but he blesses all of them, right? And he sends them away to go come see, so they can bring Dad back. So pick it up. Where are we at? Verse 26.
And told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is, governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not. And they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. And Israel said, it is enough. Joseph my son is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die.
Now he's 100 and what? Somebody give me his age.
30. Is he 130?
Yes. He's 130 years old. And in the past, his brothers told him, Joseph probably died. Here's his goat. And they really laid it out there for him to assume the worst.
Cold.
He said, yeah, his coat's ripped and it's got blood all over it. Matter of fact, they put blood on it so to make it look bad, right? And he evaluated it and said, well, Joseph's dead. He had no idea Joseph was still alive. He's 100 years old. I hope that I can live through what we're about to experience, because this man, in the next 17 years, he's in Mizraim. He's in Egypt. He spends time with his family, right? So let's listen to what happens next. The next part goes into, now he's excited. You know, old man's like, wow, my son I thought was dead. He's alive. It revived him, right? Got a little bit of strength. And he's like, yeah, this is good. And he's ready to go. He's ready to move. If you saw what was happening before, he sent his sons away. He could have gone, but he's 100 years old. He's like, you guys go and bring back whatever. You know, we'll be right here, right? So let's see what happens. 46. This is the longest death scene. Have anybody seen a movie where somebody don't want to die? Right? The more you get stabbed, and it just looks like a horror story, right? And you keep living. It's like, will you die, please? Right? Jason, right? He just won't die. Well, this is like that, because he does. When he talks about his death, it just seems like it's going on. It's like, gee, man, are you going to die? You say you're going to die. How long are you going to take to die? Well, let's get into it. 46, verse 1.
And Yasharal took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto the Elohim of his father Yitshak. And Elohim spoke unto Yasharal in the visions of the night, and said, Yaakov, Yaakov. And he said, Here am I. And he said, I am El, the Eloi of your father. Fear not to go down into Mitzrayim, for I will there make of you a great nation. I will go down with you to Mitzrayim, and I will also surely bring you up again. And Yosef shall put his hand upon your eyes. And Yaakov rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Yasharal carried Yaakov their father, and their little ones, and their women in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle, and their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Mitzrayim, Yaakov, and all his seed with him. His sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Mitzrayim.
Okay, so why? What is so cool about this? This is a vision. It's a night vision, right? So it's a dream, but it's beyond a dream. Sometimes you ever have a dream that's so real, like you almost woke up thinking, like, was I asleep? Right? This was a vision, and it's called a night vision. So this is a dream, but it's also a vision. It's like, but Yah speaks to him. What is so unique about this vision? Come on, you've read it. Verse 2 and 3, right? Listen
He
to,
answered him back,
he's talking to him. He's having a conversation with him.
right?
What did Yah say he's going to do for him?
Make them a great nation.
He's going to make him a great nation. Come on, what else?
In Mitzrayim, in Egypt.
While in Egypt. He's going, while you're in Egypt, I'm going to make a great nation. What else did he say?
I'll go back out,
Huh?
and I'll bring you back out.
He'll bring him back out. But how did he say he's going to bring him back out?
Bring them up again.
But he says he'll go down, he's going down with them.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that before.
That is my key point.
I will go down with you into Mitzrayim. Like,
That is my key point. Because when they made it, when Moses brought them out of the promised land, right? He said, this is the promised land, but you can't go. And he said, and Moses like, I'm not going unless you go with me. He had a mindset that I will not travel this route without you. For Yah to say, in particular, I'm going with you. If you have this mindset, you can really, if you take this to heart, you can do anything. You can literally do anything. You know that, if you know that, I'll use it the way that the world uses it, God is for me, who can be against me? If you have Yah literally saying, I am with you, you can't lose.
right.
No matter what the situation is, you can't lose. When David fought Goliath, Yah was with them. The issue is we have been churched. That should be a cursed word. We've been churched. Thinking that we can go in to this battle and win it. And thinking that you have God with you. You need to be sure, you know, we heard this phrase before, I know that, I know that, I know that, I know that, I know that. You better be sure that you have Yah on your side. And if that's the case, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. But the only way you get, okay, we want to talk about the blessing. This is the first blessing. To know that you have him on your side. Lauren said when she was outside of the house, she's like, I couldn't call for help because I was outside of the house. If you're worshiping on the wrong day, if you're doing all these things that are against Yah, how do you think that Yah is on your side? How do you, come on, simple math. He says, do it A, B, C, and you say, the hell with that A, B, C. I'm going to do it this way. And you think it's okay. No, there's only one way. And he's giving it to you. He says, follow my laws, statutes, and precepts, and I'll be on your side. If not, you're cursed. And what is this curse look like? How does it look? The curse, when it's manifest, you believe the untruth.
Wow.
Now there's the curse. when you thinking you're doing right, but you're believing the wrong. You're being deceived to the ultimate, so deceived that you can walk around with this in your hand
And not see nothing in it.
and think I got it right. That's crazy because the book tells you that in the last days there will be a great deception. Multitudes of people will be deceived. Going into things, or I'll use that word again, church, thinking that they've got it all together. What is the ultimate deception? Twist the truth a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just enough. If I had a high-powered rifle, if I could move that scope just a little bit. So you thinking that you're aiming at somebody and you're shooting long distance and the scope isn't twisted and you're shooting, you're missing the mark by a mile. But you think you got it because you got the gun. Because you think I got the ultimate weapon.
But
So,
it's a greater deception because all in your life you're seeing manifestations all around you that are speaking to the opposite of that. Because we all have been there where, you know, you go into your room and you're just like, why is the world against me? Why is, you know, and if you don't know Yah, you're like, why is the universe against me? So, you know, I have friends that all these things are befalling them, and they're like, but I follow God, and, you know, we have conversations, I'm like, because that's not who you're supposed, leave me alone with all that, like, I'm following the right way, but you're coming to me and you're saying all these things are befalling you, and I'm like, this is why. And you don't, so there's this greater deception in their own heart because they just don't want to. So they want the truth, but they don't want the truth. They want to be out of their suffering, but they don't want to be out of their suffering.
now I want to talk to you about instant gratification. Because some of us think that because I'm walking, I'm going to get instant gratification. So when he got the blessing, it didn't automatically happen. How long does it take to grow a generation? How long does it take to grow a nation? And when he came out, he didn't come out alive. See, he said, I'm going to bring you into the land. Joseph's going to close your eyes. So you're going to die there. See, some of us want instant gratification. I want satisfaction right now. And start pouting. You know, like little kids. Start pouting. No. Yah is going to challenge you to the truth.
He's not a magic genie when we pray.
No, he's not. He says, he tells Joseph, I'm going to be with you. So you need to have the assurance that Yah is with you, even if you don't see the answer in this generation. Right. And the reason why I'm bringing this is because we're stepping in 2019, and everyone's, I know he's coming back in 2019. And what if he doesn't?
Right. Or if he doesn't manifest in the way he was going
Right.
to. Because it doesn't look like what they think it's going to be.
Things, Yah, the way Yah works, he's working in your spirit. But he ain't working according to your time clock. That's why he said you'll see signs, but you'll not know the exact day. Now, in the signs that we're seeing, we're literally seeing people wake up. Hallelujah that people are waking up. Right? Look at the house. The house is full because people are waking up. We're like, I was in Christianity. I was a Muslim. I was a bishop, Baptist, and everybody got these little storylines. What's that?
Universalist.
Universalist. And then we got some people say, I ain't never go to church in my life. One of the great, so let me share this with you because this came to my thought pattern. one of the best things that happened to us was the generation of ex-church. The people that did not go to church because they would look at church and like, there's something wrong with that. They just didn't go. So now you got a whole generation of unchurched people. Thank you. They got an empty cup as opposed to a tainted cup or a cup that's been stained
Want to be purified.
or a cup that's filled with what?
Poison.
Poison.
No, poor people.
So they got a free, so you can talk to them and share with them and they're like, I have no idea, but I know that I believe in God. And you can start showing them who they are in a righteous way. Not to fill the church pews and start telling them a lie, and they start like, it says we're supposed to keep Shabbat. What do you do with that? Oh, that's old school. You know, that's Old Testament. That's angry God. We got real angry God.
Also, he's bipolar now.
We got love. We got good God. So the key to this, what you just read, was to me was he said, "I'm with you. I'm going with you." So even all right. So he's building a nation. Picture this. He's telling the father of Joseph, "I'm going to build a nation." Joseph already has a vision that it's going to be 7 years, 5 or 7 years, of famine. 7. So he has 7 years of famine. These people are going into a land and they're going to suffer and struggle. And they end up selling everything that they have just to survive. What kind of blessing is that?
A modern day one.
What kind of blessing? But that's
One where you'll have to depend on him.
thank you. You're not relying on the government for food stamps. You're not relying on the government for housing. You're totally relying on Yah. Come on, let's pick this up a little bit. Where are we at?
8.
Start at 7.
Oh, sorry. His sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Mitzrayim. And these are the names of the children of Yasharal, which came into Mitzrayim: Yaakov and his sons, Reuben, Yaakov's firstborn, and the sons of Reuben, Kanak and Palu, Chetzron, and Carmi.
Okay. It's going to go on with all the names. Let's drop down to 33. Read it on your own.
And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say, "What is your occupation?" that you shall say, "Your servant's trade has been about cattle from our youth, even until now, both we and also our fathers, that you may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Mitzrayim."
Now, Joseph had favor. He had so much favor that even though shepherds was an abomination, like you read earlier, they sat down to eat. They're like, "You Hebrews over there, get out. We don't associate with you guys," right? Class systems. But if you look at this, Joseph had such a mindset of reconciliation that he's like, "Okay, I'm going to talk to Pharaoh and make sure that you guys are cool. Doesn't matter what you do, you're good with me. As long as you're good with me, you're good with Pharaoh." This is so unique that the power that Yah has placed in Joseph's hands. So even though they were abomination to the Pharaoh, to be shepherds, yet Pharaoh showed favor to them. So because of Joseph. So let's read.
Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, "My father and my brethren and their flocks and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan, and behold, they are in the land of Goshen." And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, What is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, Your servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. They said moreover unto Pharaoh, For to sojourn in the land are we come. For your servants have no pasture for their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore we pray you, let your servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spoke unto Elioseph and said, Your father and your brethren are come unto you. The land of Mitzrayim is before you. In the best of the land make your father and brethren to dwell. In the land of Goshen let them dwell. And if you know any men of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. And Joseph brought in Yaakov his father, and set him before Pharaoh. And Yaakov blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Eliaakov, How old are you? And Yaakov said unto Pharaoh, The days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. And Yaakov blessed Pharaoh, and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren, and gave them a possession in the land of Mitzrayim, in the best of the land, in the land of Raamsek, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren, and all his father's household, with bread according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Mitzrayim and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. Go ahead. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Mitzrayim and in the land of Canaan for the grain which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when money failed in the land of Mitzrayim and in the land of Canaan, all the Mitzrayim came unto Elioseph and said, Give us bread, for why should we die in your presence? For the money fails. And Joseph said, Give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle, if money fail. And they brought their cattle unto Elioseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. When that year was ended, they came unto him the second year, and said unto him, We will not hide it from my lord, how that our money is spent. My lord also has our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh. And give us seed, that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. And Joseph brought all the land of Mitzrayim for Pharaoh. For the Mitzrayim sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he removed them to the cities from one end of the borders of Mitzrayim, even to the other end thereof. Only the land of the priests bought he not. For the
Back up.
On the land of the priest, he did not buy.
Go ahead, read it again.
Only the land of the priest bought he not.
Okay, so,
Priest.
huh?
What priest?
I was just saying, what priest?
Yeah.
Does that strike a nerve?
What kind of priest we talking about?
Okay. Let's read, because I just had to interrupt that for a moment, because the priestly tribe, huh?
No, Pharaoh. Didn't Pharaoh?
They didn't establish it.
Come on, read. I got everybody like, oh,
For
scratching
the
their head.
priest had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them, wherefore they sold not their lands. Then Joseph said unto the people, Behold, I have bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh. Here is seed for you, and you shall sow the land. And it shall come to pass in the increase, that you shall give the 5th part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own, for seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your households, and for food of your little ones. And they said, You have saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants.
Stop at the next verse.
And Joseph made it a law over the land of Mitzrayim unto this day that Pharaoh should have the fifth part, except the land of the priests only, which became not Pharaoh's. So those weren't Pharaoh's priests. Those were
There are priests.
No, they are, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
They
So-
are, Pharaoh allotted them their own portion of land.
So we had a priest.
Wasn't that when the order of Melchizedek was there?
Well, the order of Melchizedek, he was a priest. But this was a shocker to me. It's like, wait, what is he talking about? The priests?
Those weren't Pharaoh's priests?
No,
no.
they were our priests. So we had a priestly tribe. See,
Really?
when you listen to the book and it tells you don't eat pig, we go back to the law, right? We go back to Leviticus law, right? Jump back before that, and we already knew what was clean and not clean.
Bingo.
No, it did.
No, he said 7 clean and 7 2. So
Right,
so we knew we had
right,
we already had an order.
right.
When someone died, when someone stole, when someone was killed, we knew what was right and wrong.
Right.
We had a priestly tribe. Someone telling us what is right and wrong. The book tells us in Romans, right? How can they come unless they be sent without a preacher? Somebody was preaching and teaching them righteousness.
Right.
So much so that Pharaoh, when he came along, he's like, yo, we'll pay the priests. We'll make sure that they got wages. They got their own land. See, we see it again when the 10 Commandments come down and the law breaks out, and then Yah says the Levites will be the priests. But there were priests before that.
Which means Torah existed.
The law did not just exist when the 10 Commandments came.
Right. Right.
They knew, because it was passed down orally.
There was a law of righteousness. They knew. Even a dysfunctional family knew what was right and wrong. The problem is that we get so caught up in, here we go, churchism, that we don't see. You got to go read the whole book and look at what it's saying. This is Torah. They had law. The law was not something that see, the New Testament church tells you get rid of the law. If you get rid of the law, then where are you going? Because before the law was the law.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right.
So if you smash the 10 Commandments, you still had law. The law still exists. There has always been law. It's only since the last
Since like
And
last 400 years or however many years that we say, get rid of the law, we under grace.
and what
They were under grace, they were under law.
what these New Testament junkies seem to always
Junkies.
forget, and I'm gonna say it just like that, what these New Testament junkies often forget is the fact that the people in the New Testament, they didn't have a New Testament,
Right.
okay, because they were the New Testament. So, knowing that, what was the law or what were the commandments that they were living by? That's what people often forget. And you've got these preachers out here that are just so, enamored. They have these prolific degrees and all of this different stuff, And I'm just sitting up here like, okay, does it really take all of that to know and have enough common sense to understand what was actually the Word of God for the New Testament believers? Original.
So let's jump. Let's jump to 49. Chapter 49. I just wanted to bring that up. That's why I kept you reading until you got to the priest, because we need to realize that Yah has always been about order. He's always been about keeping his laws. If he didn't have laws, then would have been a big thing that somebody killed his brother, right?
Right.
Why is he judging them? Why are you mad at him? Because the two brothers got angry and one killed the other.
Oh,
There was no law.
you know.
Or was the law? Was there a law?
There was law, but that was when Yah used to talk to people. And
What he has done what he has done is he has taken the law. And he says this in Jeremiah. He says, I will take the law and I'm going to put it in your heart. So that all of us have become priests. That we all have the law hidden in our hearts. So we'll know without a doubt what's right and wrong. It's not even a question. It won't no longer be, should I suggest? No, you know it. It's hid in your heart.
So, in Hebrews, they reference that as saying that Yeshua came and he's the new covenant. And they go back to Jeremiah saying that that's what was promised, right? So, that promise only took care of the sacrificial sacrificing, right? That system, right? Not that Jeremiah came to pass in the New Testament or during the time of Yeshua, not in the Old Testament or in Egypt or during the time of the Old Testament, right? Or
Right.
are they reference? Okay, so
Yeah, it's strictly new.
that
So the heart change manifests his spirit, the Ruach, comes inside of you, right?
yes,
And now the things that the law is now a living law. Like you know it. If you have the spirit, when you see people walking in homosexuality, when you see people killing each other, like you hanging one of us on a tree and calling yourself Christian, you're going to hell. I don't give a what you. I believe myself. Right? I don't care what you name yourself. If you put a white cloak on, and you think you're covering yourself up, and you carry out whatever you do, and you find yourself with your group hanging one of us on a tree, you're going straight to hell, nonstop. Okay, let's change this. If you're wearing a uniform and you have a badge on and you kill one of us and you think you're going to church that next day and they say that you don't worry about it, we don't charge you guilty, we find you not guilty, you're going to hell. Y'all going to come and he's going to judge you. You don't get away with it. No one gets away with murder. And you can't claim to be righteous and live unrighteous. At the end of the book, he says, let the unrighteous be unrighteous and let the righteous be righteous. The Holy Ruach is going to make the adjustments in your life.
so that scripture in itself validates keeping the holy days, keeping Sabbath, because it's telling you that you have to do those things. Those laws should be in your heart, not
Yes.
what they're going away with. And I think that's what they use as saying that you do not have to do any of those things. But that's scripture.
When the Spirit moves in your heart, and this is a condemnation for Christianity, because when the Spirit moves in your heart, you will start keeping His laws, statutes, commandments, and His days, His holy days. That's a truthism. You're not going to keep Christmas. You can't. Because it's a lie. How are you going to keep a lie and saying you're walking in truth? I know this is tough. Because this is the Christmas season.
Chin emoji just came up
You
in
got
my head.
you're keeping a day to celebrate a day that's not even near his birthday. The image is far from the image that's described in the book.
Sure is.
His name is far from the name that is his true name.
Absolutely.
You're keeping all those lies and you saying you're walking in the truth. I am the truth.
They damaged
The way,
us.
the truth, and the light.
They
All right. So let's read. Let's read a little bit more because I want to look at. Yeah, we don't read it.
Yeah.
Bless the other day. They will never leave what we don't
Bereshit 49, verse 1.
And Yaakov called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Okay, this is his last will and testament. I said, I hope that I can live this life out, because he was he has spent 12 years in Yisra'el. He knew he was about to die. Anybody experienced somebody that know they're about to die?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully if I would love to be able to have that opportunity to say, look, I know I'm going to die. Call my kids. I want to talk to them one last time. Because that happens occasionally, right?
Yeah.
But most of the time when that happens, I don't hear people giving like blessings. They're like, it's a cry. Everybody comes there crying, Dad's going to die. They got what do you call it? Hospice is in the house, and you never get a chance to see this. Now, this is a long death. Let's look at this guy's dying. Because he's giving his last will and testament, his blessing. And the blessing goes down to his sons, which goes down to the next generation, which goes down to us. So this is something that's being passed down and is not, especially since he's the beginning of our people, like what he says, it just like multiplies.
Echoes.
It echoes, there you go. Like throwing a rock into the ocean. You see it growing, right? So let's see what he's saying. 49.
Gather yourself, 49:2. Gather yourselves together, and hear, you sons of Yaakov, and hearken unto Yisra'el your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, you shall not excel, because you went up to your father's bed, then defiled it. He went up to my couch. Shimon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not into their secret. Unto their assembly my honor be not united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dug down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Yaakov, and scatter them in Yisra'el.
Let me interrupt. It doesn't sound like a blessing, does it?
No, it doesn't.
No.
But you know
Sounds like truth.
But you know where the blessing is?
Knowing it.
Knowing this, but in us, in the Yodim, is a spirit of love. Yah has capped off that anger. He capped it off. He said, because if we actually walked in that spirit, we would destroy everything. If y'all just let us go, it doesn't matter what weapons they have against us. We have within us the ability to wipe them out. That's, Yah says, you know what? I can't let that happen. I'm gonna put a cap on that. That's a blessing. You ever see us what happens when we get shot? First thing that comes across our mind is, I forgive them.
I thought it was a riot.
Huh?
I think that's crazy.
You think it's crazy, but what it is Yah has placed a cap on us to stop us from just super exploding. Because if we did, all hell be broken out. You ever see one of us get shot 3 or 4 times and we still coming? Still coming. I had a fight with someone and I had nunchucks. I should have killed this guy. And he just kept coming. He would stop like a zombie and shake it off and come at me some more. I hit him again. And he would stop, shake it off, and come again. I was like, what is in you? By the grace of Yah, I called the police, went to the police department, and told him where he was, so he survived. But that's us. That's why they're shooting us 100 times.
They're terrified.
They're scared. They've seen it happen.
Yeah.
They've seen this happen. And know what they would tell you? Oh, he on PCP, or he on this drug, or he's that.
We angry.
Yeah, and sometimes when we get real angry and somebody did our spouse wrong and we come after them, it take more than just the gun to stop you.
It's usually a bad day.
It's a bad day, But y'all in his spirit, in his blessing, he capped it off to slow us down, to stop us from being the wrath that we can be. That's why when they look into us, they see us and they try to say we hate crime. We're not hate crime. We're all about love.
Until you cross it.
Yeah.
We don't have a Ku Klux Klan, so what you doing?
Come on.
Yehuda, you are he whom your brethren shall praise. Your hand shall be in the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you.
Yes.
Yehuda is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, you are gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?
And we know who this is,
The scepter.
right?
Scepter shall not depart from Yehuda, nor a Torah giver from between his feet.
A who?
Torah giver.
A Torah giver. Oh, so you're talking about our king, and you're talking about his righteous people. How do you walk? How do you open a book up and not talk about the Torah keepers? That is an evil thing. Come on, replacement theology.
Till Shiloh comes, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be, binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass's colt unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of the ships, and his border shall be unto Zion. Yechezk'el is a strong ass couching down between 2 burdens. And he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Yisra'el. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path, that bites the horse's heels, so that his rider shall fall backward. I have waited for your salvation, or Yeshua, O Yahuwah. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Out of Asher, his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. Naphtali is a hind let loose. He gives goodly words. Yosef is a fruitful bough, even a fruitful bough by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him and shot at him and hated him. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty Elohim of Yechezk'el. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Yasharal. Even by the Elohim of your father, who shall help you, and by El Shaddai, who shall bless you with the blessings of heaven, above blessings of the deep that lies under, blessings of the breast and of the womb. The blessings of your father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Yasharal. And this is it that their father spoke unto them, and blessed them. Everyone according to his blessing he blessed them. And he charged them, and said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Chitney. In the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field of Ephron the Chitty, for a possession of a burying place. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his woman. There they buried Yechezk'el and Rivkah his woman. And there I buried Leah. The purchase of the field and of the cave that is therein was from the children of Cheth. And when Yaakov had made an end of commanding his sons, he gathered up his feet into the bed, and yielded up his ruach, and was gathered unto his people.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So the blessing only occurs to those that are in the house. When you read through this, Joseph, when he found out that his dad was about to die, he came to his father, into his father's house. And that's where this all occurred. And all the brothers all gathered around as he gave out his blessing. Like I said earlier, I could only wish that when the day comes for my departure, that I have time to be able to pour a blessing out on my children, be able to share that. And it seemed like we skipped a lot of this because I said this is a long death. But listen to the father and how the father, he didn't skip a beat. Each one of them had an issue, and he pointed to their issue. All of us have issues. We're dysfunctional. There was a time when Joseph sent his brothers back to his father, and he says to them, don't grumble on your way back. Because he knows how they are. They're going to, as soon as they leave, they're going to start grumbling and complaining. And then after the father died, this is how they are, right? So after the father died, they lied to Joseph and said, well, Dad said, and they gave him this little spiel because they were afraid that Joseph's going to remember what they did to him. But Joseph had a heart of reconciliation. So even in that, he said, y'all meant this for evil, but Yah turned it around and worked it out for good. So the end of the story, even when they were still messed up in their mindset, his brothers, Joseph was able to still look at it and say, you know what? We're still going to be one. And so it's funny that we look at our family. This is our family, right? Yep. And y'all says, these are all your dysfunctions. And I bet if you read through some of the dysfunctions of the father of our fathers, you're gonna find you in there. You're gonna find you in there. You're gonna find that. Oh man, some of us went to prison because we killed somebody, right? Because we lost it. The anger popped out. Some of us slept around when we weren't supposed to, right? Some of us are like stable as water, or should I say unstable? One day we eat this, one day we eat that. We just unstable. You find yourself in there. This is us. But you know what? With all your dysfunction, Yah says, I'm going to choose you. 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 I'm going to choose. And he goes across in the midst of all these millions of people. He picks out us. Hallelujah. 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 So this ends our teaching for this week. Thou shalt not steal. His youth, his life was stolen. And so we have to look at a person who lived a life away from his family because it was taken from him. And what does he do? He becomes the missionary for evangelism, restoring his family back together. Yah's given us the ministry of reconciliation. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All praise to the Most High. Let's pray. Abba Father, Total Rabbi Yah, for your word, for your spirit, Yah. Thank you again. We just are so humbled that you allow us to use our home to worship and to fellowship. Yeah, we ask that you bless us and allow us to be a blessing to each other. Let the words of our mouths and the meditation of our heart be found acceptable in thy sight, Yah. Bless the food that we're about to receive, may it be nourishing to our body. We thank you, Yah, that you provide for us daily. Continue to meet the needs in our households, the ones that are ill. We pray for healing. Those that are struggling in our spirit, one way or the other, yeah, just fill the gap, yeah. Some of us are weak in certain areas, yeah. We need your strength. Some of us feel like we're strong, but we really are weak. We still need your strength, yeah. Just be with us. Thank you, yeah, for the family, for us being together, yeah. Just continue to bless us and allow us to be the light and the shining in the midst of this dark world, yeah. Help us to stay focused on you during the course of this darkness and as we go through the Christmas spirit time. We pray, Yah, that you would allow us to go through it victoriously, serving you and a mind stayed on you, Yah. In Yahushua's name we do pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Time to eat.
Alright, where am I hanging out on Christmas Day?
That's a good question.
Right, Christina?
Jesse, be a gentleman. All right, slow down. Slow down. I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We'll stop till you eat.
Alright, no, this is
I was struggling for the job. It's this time
Yeah, one thing.
Yesterday, yeah, my bad.
I wouldn't know.
Me too. I'm sleeping. I'm so bored. I say you get some meat. Yep, let's go.
Oh, you doing something else?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Mark.
What's up?
You got it. How you doing?
Always good, man. Even when I ain't good.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yep.
Somebody,
It's like
It's power in your words. Right?
most of the
I told my dad, I was like, if I ain't dead, I'm straight.
Okay.
I'll fit it and work out.
We used to live in Delaware.
Oh, okay. What part?
I was playing my other
Sorry. I'll show you a picture real quick.
Yeah,
You
beer?
from Delaware? No, I'm not from Delaware. Yeah, I used to live there.
How you doing?
That's what I said.
I want to show you a picture.
You look like somebody that Gary.
No, I'm sorry.
I always look like somebody.
Nap time? Nap time?
Hey, man. Sleepy, bro.
I mean, I look like somebody to everybody, so.
Can't make my eyes go off.
I think the smile, the jawline. What part of Delaware are you in, Tim?
I'm in Wilmington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Wilmington, Delaware. You from Delaware?
No, Philly. I used to live in Delaware.
What part?
You know, we're right where Village of Fahim. You come in, come off of 95, you take the Namens, not the Namens, but you take the second exit after the Namens, and you go to Governor Prince, the apartment complex, right to the right. Fox Point Apartments,
Yes.
right across from Fox Point Park.
There's a grocery store near there.
I'm trying to get
Giants and Giants.
One of the Giant is Lions.
Lions, yes. That's what it is, Lions.
Yeah.
Actually, I live in that area. I live off of Washington Street. Yeah, Washington Street. Uh-oh. This is work. This is work shirt.
Yeah.
You better to work?
No, I just had to get the other shirt off. It's so sweaty.
Oh,
Like
okay.
1 or 2. Somebody just posted.
So what do we want to
You want to talk about it? She posted it.
We can wait.
I gotta, I'm forgetting the name. I gotta look it up.
You guys let me know, like,
Okay. All right.
I won't count.
You say? Okay.
like I used to have it so now I'm not. My fingers